we're
I have
recording.
to check, you know where I check? I check LinkedIn because
Oh,
I try and repost it the way you try and repost them as well. So
hello, Agile World. We're recording us trying to work out what number we're on.
oh no, you meanie! That's terrible. Why you do that to me?
Hello. Oh, this could be our bloopers.
Charming. I don't know. I am not. I don't put you down when you get it wrong. I just point out the obvious.
That's fine.
Now it's.
Now we've got proof. This is what we have to do at the very beginning. What number are we on? And do you know why that is? It's because we have so much fun. It's like we've been doing this for years.
I know.
How's it going?
We're kind of sort of midpoint in the festival. We're actually slightly over midpoint in the festival. I think that everyone that's working in the center of the team is utterly shattered.
Oh, do you know what? If we could release the WhatsApp group, I'm starting again. It's happening again. The voice notes that we had on WhatsApp.
That was hilarious last night. But yeah, I've already asked one of the people that spoke if I can use that as an intro to a tech talk, which I can't remember exactly what he said. He said something like, shut up, you hippies.
Well, the fact that it got to a stage that my husband had to record a note saying, excuse me, I'm taking my wife, I put my wife to bed now because she's that exhausted. But it's good exhaustion. It is good exhaustion.
Well, if you are going to get up so early for work and then stay up late for everything to do with Agile20Reflect, then it's your own fault. It's self-inflicted.
Yeah, but it's because I enjoy it so much. It doesn't feel like work. I absolutely enjoy every minute. We all feel like that.
Right. Well, let's talk about someone else's problems then. Meetup. That was shocking and hilarious and raised lots of questions last night.
I mean, whoa. I think the first thing was the panic that happened. Like literally everyone was like, hang a minute, meetup's not working. Hang a minute, what's going on? Hang a minute. And even I jumped on and thinking, does it work on the app? No, it just went kaboom. It's like, what? Did we break it?
I don't think it was us. I think it was someone else.
It would be nice to think that we've been that successful that we broke Meetup.
Well, I think it was one interesting question that came up was, should we have red teamed it? And actually, the things, you can't red team everything. And we didn't prescribe the use of Meetup from the festival side. So.
But this is good on lessons learned, is we now need to make sure next time that we have a backup functionality for what needs to happen. But also, we live in the real world. You know, at the end of the day, these things do actually happen. We had it. Scott had it a couple of nights ago. No, not last night. The night before, where the URL wasn't working for Zoom on Meetup, yeah. And that's happened a couple of times. So we know that we need to look into that, see what's happening. Is it something we're doing? Is it something that's Meetup doing? Is it a copy and paste function?
So, I mean, I did actually start creating a backup for the entire festival on another site. But once we got to 170 events, I just couldn't keep up. And so normally what I would do is, so there used to be a site called Lanyard that allowed you to put up your events and you could build your entire events, your organizational and festival events system on their system, as well as having your own website. So in case your website went down, then that would cover it. And that no longer exists. I don't think it made any money. It was bought out. It was a nice piece of tech, but I don't think it made any money like lots of other nice pieces of tech. So I think the biggest problem we might have would be if our website went down, because that holds all of the events. And then after that, what ancillary systems are people using? I think maybe next time, if we do anything like this again, we don't have those third-party sites controlling the audience interaction. We maybe put it onto our website so that the audience can be contacted, because we didn't actually have access to the audience.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of lessons learned that we can actually pick up from this. And we're going to be doing a couple of events on that. So for our participants to let us know, but also we're going to be doing it internally on improvements, because you can always improve and we're agile.
Yeah.
So we can improve on that side. So I think that's going to be interesting. But yeah, meetup, that was a big thing yesterday going down. We were all exhausted anyway. We were all having a laugh and a giggle, and then that came up and that just kind of hit us all.
I was surprised that I didn't get hit with Karl, what are you going to do to fix it? And I'm like going, I had a quick think about it. What can I do now? Well, not very much really, apart from contact the hosts and ask them to give me all their links, and I'll put them up on a flash page on the site. But by the time I would have done that, Meetup was back up anyway.
It wasn't down that long. I think it was down for what, about 15 minutes?
I don't know.
I think, yeah, no, it was only down for 15, 20 minutes. It wasn't down for
I'll
that
go and
long.
check the outage stats and find out how long it was out for. But yeah.
I actually have it on my phone. Because my husband messaged it to me last night.
Okay, so that's Meetup. Apart from that disaster earlier in the evening, we had a nice event with the Red Team. And it went really, really well. And I think it was really interesting. So shout out to the guys, to Craig, Richard, and Yusuf. Really nicely put together presentation and discussion as well. It was nice to change the format a bit and have the discussion as part of sharing the information. And then we went into sort of a presentation mode where Richard shared an example of something we actually worked on. You know, should the festival accept money?
Yeah.
And I think that's so fundamental to how people think about doing things, that they maybe even wouldn't ever challenge it normally, but it changes everything about what you're doing and the relationship of those people that give money to the festival. So that's in fact the reason we didn't take any money in the end, not as a sponsorship thing. But we are still collecting donations. Please donate here.
Please donate here. I am going to give Richard Cornelius a shout out because he is the Miro king. He literally is the king of Miro. Absolutely. Every time I have a problem with Miro, or Miro, everyone says it wrong. He is the king of it. As soon as he brought that up last night, I was like, you go, Mr. Cornelius.
Yeah, it was really good. And he actually
got silent.
And he was able to, when someone else brought up another version that we might interrogate, was able to make it on the fly, which is, you know, the whole point of something like Miro. So, so that was good, and it went so well that people want to do it again, but they want to do more of a workshop. They want to have more of an experience of, you know, things like the 10th man, you know, different methods, I'll call them, but they're really sort of artifacts to work your way around about how to create that contrarian thought process. And they're really interesting. And the reason I got involved with it because they called themselves heretics. And I thought, well, I'd like to burn stuff down, only to build it up again. And this is what people don't realize about creating anything. There is usually a clearing away of the old rubbish before you build stuff. And the way the farmers do it is they burn it off. So I think it's really good, and it's been very helpful to the festival to actually have that mindset available, that is not rose tinted glasses all the way through, but really sort of digging through the potentials and actually making those potentials available to the decision makers, because Red Team doesn't decide anything, but it does make the landscape clear. It removes the fog of war, which is where it actually comes from.
I remember when I first joined Agile20Reflect, and I kind of came through Scott and Richard Cornelius, and I used to ask him what he did, and when he described it, I'd be like, you've got the coolest job in the world. You basically work out how to break stuff and how it could possibly break. And I said, you're in the coolest team ever. And I said, can I join? He's like, no. I was like,
oh, well, you said you couldn't join. I just turned up.
I was beamed for other areas, and I'm glad the area that I've got now. So I'm beaming and learning in that area. So yeah, actually it was a better advantage for me. So when's this event going to be?
Don't know. We're trying to work it out now. The problem with the last week of the festival is that we've all got things going on. I'm hosting on Tuesday, and I'm speaking on Thursday. So, or Friday, I can't remember when I'm doing it. My calendar tells me what the day is and what's happening in it.
I'm hosting on Tuesday as well. What time's yours?
I'll make sure it's at the same time as yours. No, it's I think it's I don't know. I don't know.
It's still 7 o'clock, mine is. So I have an event called FAR, Personal Agility, 6 till 7 on the 23rd. I've been to all yours.
Is you suggesting I need to attend this?
What?
7 till 8.
Oh, just afterwards. There you go.
I get the feeling this is the invitation at the point of a rebuke. Okay, remind me nearer the time. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's the same evening as the trustees meeting. So are you doing yours instead of the trustees meeting? You're doing a Shelby.
I'm actually hosting a session that's different. Shelby won't be on the trustees meeting because she's facilitating.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, because it's a really good one because it's around personal agility and using agile in your personal life, but it's also with my really good friend Cynthia. Now Cynthia lives in Texas, so bless her. I spoke to her earlier.
That's bad out there.
She says she's safe, she's warm, she's doing well. She's got no internet at all, so we had to do a quick Zoom call from her phone to kind of go through the presentation and everything we were running. But we'll kind of do a little tweak of how it is in America and how it is in the UK, because there are some differences. And when we talk to each other, we spend a lot of time saying, oh yeah, but this is how it is over in Texas, and it's like, well, this is how it is in the UK. So we're going to do like a little bit of a split of a UK to Texas or UK and America. So there's going to be a little bit of that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing on Tuesday. There you go. I got my plug in.
So just to make you aware, and I had an event that was that I originally was going to host on Tuesday, but it clashed with the Red Team event, so that's been bumped to next Tuesday as well, because one of the people that's speaking is based in Austin.
Yeah.
Now, the forecast is, and it was forecasted 3 weeks ago, there's 2 storms going to hit Texas,
Yeah.
not one.
That's what we're worried about. So I had a catch up with her today. I said, if worst comes to the worst, we'll move it. So I think we're giving it to the weekend to see how it is. But yeah, there is a possibility. I'm glad she's safe, and I'm glad I'm still able to speak to her, but it's not good over there at the moment. She's actually in Austin, Texas as well. She was telling me how it was minus 14 degrees at one point. And I thought it was bad where last week we had -8 at 10 a.m. in the morning, -14. Like,
yeah, they're not really used to it in Texas, and unless you go skiing, you won't have the kind of clothes that you need to be able to keep yourself warm. And the houses, unless you're in the city, the actual houses outside are all made of wood.
Well, she was actually explaining to me how their water pipes, because the Texas ground is so hard, their water pipes aren't actually that deep. And that's what their fear is at the moment. They're trying to keep heat in the houses, even though not all of them have got heating. They're trying to keep the heat in the houses to make sure that the pipes don't actually burst.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep that warmed up. There's also a problem with the power grid as well. So they're struggling in that area. So yeah, they're not doing well. I'm glad I spoke to her today. I'm glad I know she's safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a possibility my event may get moved, because at the end of the day, my priority is her. And at the moment, she's having to do it on her phone, and I just want to make sure that she's safe. And if we're not able to do it, we'll move it. So fingers crossed we still get the same followers that was going to turn up to the original one if we got to move it. But we just have to make that call on Saturday.
Yeah, it's fair calls. I've got a friend who lives in Austin as well, who actually lives at the weekend in Florida, but he said he didn't get out in time, so he sent pictures on Facebook of the road he was driving on that was basically about 3 foot of snow.
Oh no!
I like Austin. It's got a really nice tech hub there, and I spoke at South by Southwest there in 2016, so it's got some nice places, but it's not. It's kind of a very open city. It's on the flat, and when the wind blows through there, if it's a cold wind, it really hurts. So a bit like New York.
I've never been. I've always wanted to. I've got areas in America I want to go to. Obviously, I've done Vegas, but I don't feel like I've done Vegas. I was there for the big AWS event that they have, the reInvent event that they have every year, and that was just amazing. But I just couldn't get past the jet lag.
We just need to do Agile Worlds during South by Southwest one year.
Oh,
because
yes.
it's a tech hub.
Well, we just need to maybe shift Agile World a little bit, because I've got connections with AWS, so maybe we can see Agile World reInvent gets to Vegas.
Yeah, well, it's just to say to everyone, it's starting to evolve itself. We're now on about 6 different podcast platforms, just trying to sort out iTunes at the moment, just building a website as well. It's grown legs, and it will exist beyond the festival.
We are
And
evolving this.
yeah, so we won't be every day though. I think there's this notion that we might get some sleep in between events and Agile World.
We have to think of another thing, because I think it's been a while. I think, you think how many days it's been that we've spoken to each other every single day. We can't not speak to each other every day. This is not just about Agile World. It's also like our little catch up that we have.
Well, I don't mind having a catch up, but I'm not sure I would need to film it every time.
Very true, very true.
And it is a little bit restrictive as well, to our partners who I expect to have opinions by now, since we've been doing this for I think it's the 16th day.
Rob, do you know what?
I don't know.
We need to get the partners on.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, he just sits downstairs and listens. So what else have you got going on tonight?
So I think I want to give a shout out to part of the final ceremony. It's not closing really, is it? It's kind of like the next step ceremony, or whatever you want to call it ultimately. But what we would like to do is hear from people. If you could actually use your phone and video yourself and just say, what you liked about the festival, what you learned, what you're looking forward to using, that kind of thing would be really helpful. And we want to do a montage, and I can't say montage without thinking about Team America. I don't know why, but we'd like to do a montage in the last major group event of the festival, and just kind of show the videos. We're going to be setting up a page on a website as well, and it's really for the participants. I am a participant as well as an organizer, but it's I'm too embedded, and I'm probably a bit tainted by knowing too much about the stuff. Not knowledge wise, but in terms of all the organization of it, you tend to sort of I've read probably the details on every festival event.
Yeah.
Even the Spanish ones I've taken through a translator, and the Vietnamese ones I've run them through translators to try and make sure that they're on target with what we're trying to achieve. So I think it'd be nicer to hear from the participants. If you've been to events, we'd love to hear your thoughts, and what should we do next as well, because we've done all of this. We don't want to go down the routes of becoming a membership thing. There's many great sort of membership things, but what we have seen here is a galvanization of the community, which for me in Agile, it's the first time I've seen it. So
do this on such a minimal budget, and actually your donations, all our donors, has actually been an absolute benefit for what we've been able to achieve on such a small amount, and still are achieving, is something that so many places have not been able to do. But we haven't been able to do it without our donors. We haven't been able to. The donations that we've been getting to help us out, it's not just us doing this free of charge outside of our work hours. It's also, there's things that have actually cost. So if we didn't have those donations, we wouldn't be here. So we are and thank you very much. And we keep saying it because we are extremely grateful for it.
I think there's 2 key areas that donations go to. One is to pay for Zoom licenses for large events, because most people if you have a meetup, you kind of expect 20 to 30 people to sign up and about 15 people to turn up. If that was in the flesh thing, because I've been in meetups before, which is good. That's actually good, because you get the right 15 people and you have a great time. But we're having events come up and people are going, oh, I'll be happy with sort of 10 or 15 people, and they're getting 120 people sign up. And the licensing around systems like Zoom, and I'm sure there are other ones,
means other platforms.
means that you have to have a certain kind of license, and you have to have a certain level of expenditure. And so what we've done is we've got 3 licenses from the festival, through the donation money. And the other thing is to get the word out there. It's even now I'm hearing about people who are really involved in Agile only hearing about it last weekend.
Yeah, still.
And yeah, so people, getting the word out that it's not a club, it's not a private thing, it's not, you don't have to pay $700 to be a member to come to it. And unfortunately, I didn't realize this, but there are 3 or 4 actual Agile events on in the month of February where you have to pay to go to them.
Really?
So sorry to those conferences if you planned them at the same time. We weren't trying to take away your audience, but this is supposed to be a once in a lifetime thing to celebrate 20 years of Agile, but we're not charging anything for any of this. And as we said last night with the people from Africa, there's a chance here that you can use this as a springboard to galvanize business, to get people on board into using Agile.
And all the learnings and everything, and everyone can get it. But yeah, that's what one area of our donations have actually gone to. And it has been helpful, at least for those people that were hosting the events. They haven't had to fork out because they never expected to have so many people, which is absolutely amazing. And it's also great because they don't have to turn anyone away, because there's nothing worse than actually getting that achievement where you've got so many people that want to join your event and then you've got to turn them away when really you don't want to. So having this access has actually been really helpful. Yeah.
So what have you got to? Have I taken all of your stories and shared them all now?
No, I'm wary if you're going to bring something else up, but no, I'm going to be good. I'm going to have a rest. I've got some long working hours this week. I'm working with the guys for the closing ceremony, as it's called now, named to be changed soon. We're still waiting to find out. So I'll be doing a bit of work on that this evening, and then I'm going to have a peruse on some of the events and see if I can have some in the background that I can listen and learn while still doing my work. But I'm going to be good. I'm going to go to bed at a decent time and not get to the stage where I'm like I was last night.
I shall be messaging your husband through LinkedIn to check that you are not wiped out, just to let you know in advance.
You might as well just, I could have just given you his number, it would have been fine. He'd probably appreciate it. Yeah, he'd probably turn around and say, you tell her, she's not listening.
Well, I'm going to tell you now, and I've said this to quite a few different people in the ambassadorial areas, is remember, it's your family first, then work, then the festival. Because if your family don't want to see you ever again afterwards, then you've kind of done it the wrong way around.
No, I'm quite lucky because he's still working at night, but my husband gets to stay in bed a bit longer than I do, so that's where the sleep pattern actually changes. But no, I'm just enjoying it so much. It's like, I don't know, I'm actually addicted. I think I'm addicted to Agile 20. Scott will love that. This is for you, Scott. I'm addicted to Agile 20.
Scott, you have created an addiction in Sabrina that we now need to get some deprogrammers in to.
Oh God, this is
it's the cult of Agile.
This is going another direction tonight. No, I'm going to be taking a bit of a rest. I'm going to have a look at some things in the background, and then obviously. That's just me. I don't feel as tired today as I did yesterday, so that's a good sign. So
excellent. I think we're done from Agile World, unless you've got any other items. We neither of us have had a chance to go through the calendar, so we're not going to do that bit tonight. Okay. But otherwise, thank you very much for listening in.
Oh, one more. We're going to actually have, over the next couple of days, some participants actually joining us.
Ooh.
So, yes, and actually I think maybe we need to do a little bit of a flip around and we interview them and then they interview us.
I don't know if I'm that interesting, but carry on.
Yeah, you are. Right, I'll catch you later on, my darling. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us.
Thanks, bye.